Chrissy, is it raining at midnight?
On
New Year's Eve into New Year's?
It looks like we might be dry just for
okay,
midnight.
because I was going to say it might be chilly, it might be rainy, but we're going to cheers to anything, okay? 2023, we are done with you. We're ready for 2024. Well, the wine guy is here to help me out because we're talking about what we can cheers at midnight, and I see you brought some goodies, my friend.
Yes, yes. Sparkling wine. I mean, that's the traditional one, right?
Okay.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that.
I love it. Well, talk to me first because I see you got the Veuve, so you've got the champs here. And so the difference between champagne and Prosecco.
Yeah.
What is it?
Well, the method is a little bit different. So what they do with champagne is they actually do a second fermentation in the bottle. So they have a still wine up to a certain amount, and they add what's called liqueur de tirage, right, which is just yeast and basically grape juice.
Okay.
And they cover it up, and they do a second fermentation, which is what gives you the natural bubbles. That's why those bubbles are so fine. Those are natural bubbles.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
And then Prosecco, they do the same thing, but they do it in a large vat. Right, so in a big vat, they do the same sort of thing where they do the second fermentation, and then they just transfer it to the bottles from there. So this is done all inside the bottle. The Italian method, or Prosecco, is done in a vat and then transferred to the bottle.
And I noticed some champagne bottles will have the year.
Yes,
some don't. Why?
Yes.
Why is that?
So they have vintage years in champagne. And what that is that about 3 or 4 out of every 10 years is a great year for them in the region of Champagne.
All right. Okay.
And so those, they say, okay, we can make that a vintage year, so you can actually, with your high-end champagne bottles, you can put the actual year on it. In the years that are not vintage years, those are the NV years, the non-vintage years.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
And so like with Veuve Clicquot, this is an NV, a non-vintage. So it's the same grapes, just in a year that wasn't a spectacular year for them, and they take those and blend them all in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're wanting to pick, and maybe you're on a budget, can you talk to us a little about some affordable sparkling wine?
Yes, yeah, because you're looking at $60 and up, right, for champagne. That's very expensive, right? For a special occasion, that's fine.
Sure.
And then Prosecco, usually in the $15 to $20 range, which is fine. 20, 25. You shouldn't pay more than $25 for most Proseccos.
No more than 25 for Prosecco.
And then you have American sparkling wines. This is the one we do at Coomber Wines in Oceanside. Now that's made in the same exact method as champagne, but the grapes are from Sonoma. And so, generally speaking, you're going to get those a little bit less expensive than champagne.
Sure.
But the most affordable, and we've talked about it 10 or 15 times on this segment
Sure.
in the past,
Yeah.
is Spanish Cava, right? And so it's made in the same way as champagne, but generally you're paying about $10 for a bottle of that. Now the grapes are mostly the same, because in champagne they only use Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and then a little Pinot Meunier is the third grape that they'll use. So they use a lot of the same grapes now in Spain with some of the Spanish varieties as well that are kind of obscure. So,
$10 for a bottle.
Yeah, and it's good. You know, especially if you're going to do mimosas. Like this is you want to go towards this or one of the American sparkling ones.
I like it.
Don't take your $60 to $100 bottle and put orange juice in it, please. I beg you.
Please don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, those are for special events. I like it. So talk to me about, so New Year's Eve is just around the corner.
Yes.
And if you want to make a specialty cocktail for New Year's Eve, I know I saw that you brought the Aperol. Is this what we're making for New Year's Eve?
So throw a little bit of ice in your glass
Okay,
there.
so we're going to get some ice. I have to be very careful.
You can use your hand if you want to.
Really?
You always want to be careful when you put glass and ice, because it chips, and the next thing you know,
don't do what Christina just did. We're
going to have to burn the ice now. All bartenders in San Diego right now, you got to burn the ice. Right, that means you have to melt all the ice down.
Sorry.
No, okay, so what we're going to do is equal parts, so a little bit of Aperol, right? I'll get these
You're
ready.
going to trust me to do this? Okay, listen.
And
okay,
then,
so tell me when to stop.
Okay. And that's good.
Okay.
Okay, and then the same amount of the ginger beer.
Ooh. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
And what does the ginger beer do?
So that softens it out, because Aperol is a bitter liqueur and the same amount of club soda. So what we want to do is that, if you're not used to the bitter liqueurs, I mean, they can be a little bit off-putting, right?
Yes.
And so what we do with the ginger beer, this is kind of my take on a spritz, basically. Usually you don't put ginger beer in it.
I see.
And then we want to put a little bit garnish. So we're going to do
I don't think I closed that correctly.
No,
Okay,
that's
little
okay.
garnish.
Don't worry about that. Yeah.
So it's gonna
So
be
I
really,
actually,
really
my
pretty.
wife actually dehydrated these by putting
I
them in
did
the
the
oven.
same thing. It takes a while.
We went up to
so-
the orange tree, cut
Look
it,
at that,
put them in
see?
the oven.
But
see you
isn't it
later.
beautiful?
Oh, it's awesome.
I
Yeah,
love
and then
it.
a little bit of rosemary from the garden
Oh.
as well. And then here's the beauty to this. If you're doing a party at home, you can do all of this in a large container.
Oh, and then you just
And then
pour
they
it.
just do it. And then you finish it with a little bit of Prosecco. So about the same amount
Okay,
of Prosecco.
here
so
we
this is
go.
what gives you that little frizzante, they call it in
Ooh,
Italy,
that's
right?
so
The bubbles. That's good.
pretty.
That's good.
Oh, sorry. He's like, Christina,
Yeah, I
you
know.
were fired. You were trying to put ice in the glass. Okay, we're not going to do that. So let's cheers to this.
Cheers.
Real
Happy
quick.
2024.
Yes, it's here. Thank God. Can we get the information real quick up on the screen? I want to talk about the Coomber Craft Wines. This is in Oceanside, by the way, 6 to 9. It's dog friendly.
Very dog.
I was about to say bring family. Don't do that. It's 21 and up.
No, actually, it's all
Can you?
ages. Yeah, you can bring
Oh.
kids,
But
dogs, you
just
can bring
don't-
whatever you want.
Don't give your kids the wine.
No,
okay?
no. We
don't
have
do that.
soda
Okay.
or water.
Here you go. I love it.
Yeah.
Will, thank you so much for
Thank
being here. This
you.
was a lot of fun.
It's good
All
to
right.
see you. Happy New Year.
Year.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back.